It's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family and this country. As veteran specialists, Hires Baxley Funeral Service helps us celebrate Dad's life and can help you too. Hires Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hiresbaxley.com/choice.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA, 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. It is Veterans News. We have the good folks from the VA clinics of Gainesville and Ocala.
Yes.
In Dr. Torres, Nurse Rahim, Miss Gaddis, who's a social worker, and, of course, nurse practitioner Terry McLean, all in studio with us. I will say this, and for those that didn't know, you can go back and watch the last time that they were all in here together. Terry's mask is functioning a lot better this time. She was about ready to just rip the mask off and throw it in the garbage last time.
I don't blame her. I don't like those things. Everyone knows I don't wear them when I don't have to. I'm shot twice in the arm, and I still great vision with my third eye. I'm doing great, so there's no problem. Anybody that doesn't want to be near me, put your mask on, stay 6 feet away. You feel safe, fine. I'm not going to come near you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You going to stay at that end of the table?
Better believe it.
I'm good.
I have my mask on.
How do you do?
I'm sitting right next to him.
But
well, you're 6 foot away, we'll say.
But the mask she had, and I don't know what kind of mask it was, but it was beating her up last time.
She got upgraded to that one there.
Coming back to the whole advanced directives,
yes.
Life-sustaining treatment, I'm a veteran. How do I start this ball rolling? How do I start the plan?
Because it sounds like a daunting task with all the paperwork and everything you got to do.
Oh, by the way, this is part 2 on YouTube, right?
How do I get information? Where do I start?
Well, the best way to start with this is we have advanced care planning groups now where we meet with multiple veterans at one time. It really helps the veterans not feel singled out about this, and they can even learn from each other through experiences. So a lot of our clinics have these groups. They were face-to-face in the beginning, but because of the pandemic, we are having a lot of virtual groups. And we have some telephone groups as well, where the social worker will provide you with a telephone number to call in, and the social worker will educate everybody over the phone regarding it. You'll receive a packet prior to the group with the forms, a lot of supplemental information, educational stuff. And the groups have been really, really successful. They're throughout the entire VA. And we have, in our area, we have 8 groups. There's, I run 2 out of Gainesville, and then the social worker in Ocala is starting a telephone group this month. So that's the best way to get started, because it provides a great overview and more information, and it's solely focused on advanced care planning, and they'll review the form to explain everything about the form. And then if when you're ready to fill out the document, then you can fill it out, bring it into your social worker, mail it to your social worker, or you can meet with the social worker and get assistance filling it out if needed.
We've been talking about the advanced care initiative here, but for people that may be just joining us right now, once again, go over what exactly the advanced care what it is and why it's important.
Advanced care planning is important so that your wishes for treatment in the future, if you're not able to make decisions for yourself, are known by your medical providers, are known by your family, anybody who may be called on to help assist at that time.
Doc, that's my mama. I know what she wants. This is what she wants. That happens a lot with people. I've seen it in hospital situations. Mm-hmm. This kind of directive stops that from happening.
Well, it does to a point. If that person is designated by the mother,
right,
to make decisions, then that person can override, and say that, this is what she wants, this is what she doesn't want. But there is a process in that as well. If you don't designate somebody to make healthcare decisions for you, there's a decision maker hierarchy by law that medical providers have to follow. And that person may not be the person you want making healthcare decisions. So that's really why it's really important to designate somebody.
What is that hierarchy? When you think of it, is it your spouse is first? Then is it the oldest child, or is it your sibling? How's it go?
So within the VA, it's a little bit different than outside of the VA because we follow federal law and VA policy. So within the VA, the first person that would be called would be a spouse. So say you are married and separated for 20 years and don't speak to your spouse is still the person that they're going to call on to make medical decisions for you. Then if you don't have a spouse, then it would be children. And it's all adult children. So if you have 10 children, they have to get a consensus of all 10 of those children.
Oy vey.
So, and if you don't have children, then it goes down to parents, then siblings, then grandparents, and on down the line.
Now, I have a question. Let's say Tom's a veteran, right? He's not married yet. He has a fiance. Can he put his fiance as?
You can list anybody to be your decision maker as long as you do it on the legal document. If you just say, I want this person and put them as an emergency contact, that's not sufficient. You have to designate them on the legal document as your decision
And
maker.
that came up like in civilian hospital when I got mine back. Even though I had to fill out the paperwork, they said one of the questions was, is your next of kin still? And they listed a girlfriend from like 5 years ago. I was like, no, she's not.
No, definitely no.
If you call her, she's going to say, kill him. So, but people don't realize that these things stay with you unless you change them.
Exactly.
I've got the question here right in front of me. Who does someone from the Ocala area call for any of this here in the Ocala area? And what's the phone number? And how do you find it?
Our phone number is 352-369-3320, 352-369-3320.
There you go. You said it twice, and we know our listeners, our WOCA listeners are used to us giving out phone numbers, so they're listening with a pad and pencil usually.
Joe, do we want to take phone calls?
It's up to the.
Would y'all like to take phone calls?
We have a phone call. Put your headphones on, please.
Please.
Yeah, and Rhonda.
And take the phone cord off the microphone there.
Yeah, take it out. Yeah.
I did.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. You're on with the folks from the VA.
Hi, it's Sonny calling. I'm a veteran, and one reason or the other, all my medical is being taken care of by private doctors. Although I am now going to the VA for what my disability was listed for, namely it's podiatry. And do I still need to get all this stuff squared away with you? I mean, I'm just thinking of what might happen on the outside. I could wind up in a hospital and all of a sudden they say, oh, you got VA coverage, and that's it. Because I carry my ID card with me all the time. The other thing is, the way it's set up now, I almost forgot. The other thing is now I go to Express Care, and you guys have some kind of an affiliation with Express Care now, and they help me out. As a matter of fact, I had an appointment for the podiatry, and something was up with the doctor there. I think she was having a baby. Nothing minor. In other words, major thing there.
So what was the question?
What's the question, Sonny?
The clinic. Well, I've been going there I use them as my primary care physician because of an incident years ago.
Sonny, Sonny.
I had the flu really bad.
Oh, we're gonna have to cut Sonny off there. I think Sonny's question was,
I couldn't find
he
it.
has private doctors for everything he's doing, but does he still, because of that, even though he's a veteran and he has private health care that's taking care of him, does he still need to do this kind of paperwork with the VA?
Yes, it's important to have that paperwork done with the VA because he may, have other care there, and his advance directive that he does with the VA he can use that outside of the VA as well. So if he goes to another hospital, he can provide it to them. If he goes to another doctor, he can provide that advance directive outside of the VA as well.
Now, when you're saying he can provide it, this is something that we talked about it last time. Your advance directive, make sure you know who has it or where it is so that you can have it, because you may be at a private hospital that's not a VA hospital, but you still want the advance directive to be used.
and an outside hospital doesn't magically have access to
No.
the one on file at the VA. That's a misconception sometimes. People think, I have that done, or they have it done with a lawyer, and it's not on file.
Like I have a good friend of mine who he's in his 50s now. He's been a professional bouncer for 35 years. That's what he does. He carries a folder like this in a briefcase with him that's every medical procedure and his entire medical record, everything he's ever had done, because in that line of work, you've had some things. And he's a veteran.
Yeah.
And I asked him about this when we had this discussion. I go, have you ever done an advance directive? He goes, what the hell's that?
Oh.
And he's a veteran. Marine. He's not a former Marine. He's still a Marine.
Once.
He's just not active.
All right, now I have the question. All veterans that are in the system, that should be in the system, please, veterans, if you're not in the system, get in the system. We all carry that little white card that has our name on it. No more Social Security. Social Security, no, that's gone. But that little strip, you put that in there, and the VA clinic or wherever you are, they know all your information. God forbid something happened and you were rushed to a hospital, regular hospital, and you're able enough, you're coordinated enough in the brain to say, okay, I'm a veteran, here's my card. What does the hospital do to say, okay, you're in there, but you're a veteran, and you want to go to the veterans hospital, or you want to be taken care of by veterans? What happens?
Okay, so if you are in the situation that you are in a civilian hospital,
There you go.
the civilian hospital need and will take care of whatever needs you have. You can show them your veterans card, and what they do, they notify community care to issue a community care emergency consult. Based on the situation or emergency, the care can be approved by the Veterans Administration or cannot be approved.
Right.
So not all the VA emergency, the non-VA emergency visits are approved. Okay. So that based on the criteria that community care has. If, and another thing, the veteran, not because you carry a card, you are in the system, you need to make sure that you are registered, enrolled, you qualify for health benefits, and you are followed by your doctor at least once a year.
You're active, yeah.
Correct, because if you are not active, then that doesn't mean your care is not going to happen, because it's going to happen, but you need to reactivate your status.
Yeah, I was slapped on the hand years and years ago because I was in good health.
Correct.
Years and years ago. And I was enrolled in the VA. I had been enrolled in the VA for a short amount of time at that time in my life because I had civilian coverage. So I bothered the VA. That's the way I felt. But then I got to the situation I had to use the VA, and I availed myself of this. Long story short.
Too late.
I know. Long story short, I knew he was going to say that. I skipped a year, and they come to slap me. Why were you last year? I said, well, I feel great. I feel fine. I'm saving money. No, you're not. You're not. You're messing the system up. You have to be here. You might feel great. Let us tell you you feel great, kind of thing. That's what we're above your pay grade. Pay attention.
Yeah. And you could say, I feel great, and I want to update my life-sustaining treatment note. Can I just come in and do that for 15 minutes? And it would count.
Correct.
Well, I didn't know that back
Yes.
then.
Yeah,
I've learned so much in the 10 years I've been here because you guys have been in here and we have the Veterans News. I have learned so much, and so much respect for what you all do is beyond belief. I witness a lot of good and a lot of bad at the clinics. And I'm talking about the veterans that are coming in there with attitudes. And I want to slap them upside the head. I really, really do. And none of my business, like the commercial. Yeah, we all see the blue hair, kind of thing. You guys have to. There's my Yankee coming out. You guys have to handle that all the time. You know what's going on. I don't. I'm just sitting there. I said, where was this guy brought up? And what gives him the right to holler that high and that long and it's like, because I go through the system and it's like, why holler? They're there to help you, you dummy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, why?
You never know, though, the stress that any one person may be under.
That's
when
why.
they're in those situations. And
Well, the providers are in a lot of stress too because of that.
but yeah, but I never, when I see somebody getting angry in a doctor's office and everything, I always think to myself, I don't know what kind of pain that person may be in. I don't know whether this is his third visit or her third visit with the same problem and nobody's giving them any justice or anything. So when I see somebody doing that, because you got to either have no home training or pretty stressed out to go screaming and hollering at people that are providing help for you healthcare wise.
You know, and people who work at the VA, they really want to help veterans, and we're trained to understand veterans and maybe what's going on in their lives, and so I think we do have an extra measure of patience, or we should.
Well, you have that 15-minute rule. If your appointment is at 11, get there 15 minutes of. And if you're not seen by 15 minutes after, they usually have the little signs. You go up to the desk. My appointment was at 11 o'clock. It's 11:15 now. We're having a problem.
Well,
And if they're having a problem, they'll tell you, and you sit back down.
and I encourage the patients and the listeners that if you're a veteran, arrive 20 minutes before your appointment, because you have that time to check in with the nurse. The nurse is going to ask you several questions.
Yeah.
And then by the time the nurse finishes, you had 30 minutes with your appointment if you're a established patient a return, or if you're there for whatever issue. And if you're a new patient, then you're going to have your 60-minute appointment. So always going early and go and check in.
Oh, yes. Just don't sit there in the chair,
If you sit down in the waiting room because there's a line, then you're not checked in. That's when your time is going to pass, because it happened. And we need to remember that there is a checkpoint or with screeners. Mm-hmm. So you when you get in the building, there's some personnel that is going to ask you several questions.
Oh, yeah.
And then mainly the veteran should have an appointment. If you don't have an appointment, they're going to give you a form that you can write down whatever issue you have, and they will give that to your team, and your team will reach out to you.
Communication. That's what I'm hearing over and over again with it.
Can I get a seminar with these guys at my primary care physician's office so that they understand that when I'm making, like, I have an appointment tomorrow with my primary care physician at 1:30. Mm-hmm. I'll get there about 1:15, but I've already blocked till 5 o'clock off in my calendar, because I'll get there, my appointment's at 1:30. I'll get triage, the nurse will come in to do my blood pressure and see how fat I am. That'll be about 2:15. Then I'll get put in a little room, and about 3:30, 3:45, I'll see a doctor.
Well, sir,
they can't help you there.
Your appointment is at 1 o'clock. In our clinic, you are seen at 1 o'clock.
Which is why I want you guys to come do a seminar for my primary
Well, they
care.
probably would. They'll just charge them more.
If I can come back to the caller to make sure we address with some of the things I think he had in mind, or he was.
We have another caller
saying.
on waiting too, as a matter of fact. So
Well, we have 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So
And the first caller is, if you do an advance directive at a VA facility, it's in the system, but that will not be in the system at your private hospital or your community hospital. You will have to take that document with you every time you visit a hospital outside the VA.
Carry it like your insurance, like your car insurance, in your glove box or somewhere.
I
that's
tell
readily
all
get it.
veterans to carry their advance directive in their glove box.
Yeah, because that
you never
way
know.
it's always with you. And the police, if you're in a bad accident or something,
Yeah.
and you can't speak for yourself in a traffic accident or something,
Yeah.
the police, because they're trying to identify things, they look in a glove box. Guess what they'll look at?
Yeah.
And they'll say, "Here's the directive," and then they'll get it to the people it needs to get to.
all right, everybody, put your headphones on. We have a phone call, please.
Hi, caller. You got about 2 minutes.
Hey, Tom and Joe Martone and Dr. Torres, and to the folks from Gainesville, as a veteran, I'd like to thank you for all having a great radio station, a great host, and great doctors and nurses. And thank you. It's a great community. I wanted to let the listeners know, as a veteran, not all veterans qualify for the VA. Not all veterans automatically are enrolled in the VA. You have to enroll yourself if you qualify. So I just remind the listeners, a lot of civilians, they mean well. They're very patriotic in their emotions and in their heart. But in reality, many veterans don't qualify. I happen to be lucky enough to qualify. I'm very grateful for that. But I would just remind all listeners to make sure that they understand those are one of the stressors that people were talking about earlier. And thanks again to Dr. Torres and to Tom and to Joe Martone. Thank you all.
Mark, thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
That's
Marine.
Marine.
Always
Mark,
a Marine.
He's always a Marine. You're never not a Marine.
That's true. Yep. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Never not a Marine.
And
Hoorah.
before we close out,
What does Mark mean, though, when he says not everybody's eligible? Is that actually not every veteran is eligible?
No. You need to go through an eligibility process. So you need to bring your
DD-214.
DD-214. Well, and also your if you have your income, you need to list all your income, and based on your income, that's where you're going to stand for your eligibility criteria and your group.
Well, Joe's been at a fleggling radio station that hadn't given him a paycheck ever. So Joe qualifies.
7 years we're going.
Joe qualifies.
There you go. There you go. See, not only does he put the knife in, he twists it, then he pulls it out and puts salt in so he doesn't want any infection.
before we close out,
Yes, your card in front of
I
you.
am going to mention the Veterans Crisis Line for any of our veterans who would like help. The number is 1-800-273-8255. And this also for the family, friends, anyone who is closely associated with a veteran and would like some help.
Say the number again,
Veterans,
please.
Please call 1-800-273-8255. It's the Veterans Crisis Line, and press 1.
We need that to be done because 22 veterans a day commit suicide.
Yeah.
Right now, and that's 22 too many.
Exactly, Tom. Very good.
22 too many. You grow up as a Marine Corps kid, you get veteran in you just by osmosis.
Osmosis. Dr. Torres, would you please give the number again for the clinic so people, if they want to get information or get enrolled or whatever?
Also, if you need whatever assistance and you're a veteran, you can call 352-369-3320. Number again is 352-369-3320.
And the Gainesville, do they have numbers to call also?
352-548-6000.
Oh, he's showing off. He knew I thought okay. All right. He must have had a cup of coffee or two this morning now. I tell you, he feels good this morning, you know.
You know what he was? He was prepared, which is what I'm finding. If you go to the VA, everybody at the VA is prepared.
Oh, I'll tell you, when I went to get my shots, that was before I walked in the door, with infrared into the head, have your third, all the questions. Okay, go there. They give you the clipboard. You fill out one little form. Sit in there. Boom, you're in there. I was in and out of the shot within 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then you have to wait 15 minutes to make sure you don't grow another arm.
That was the longest thing you had to do. The wait.
The wait was longer than the shot.
I'm glad they did
and the second time was faster.
I'm glad they did the infrared and not an ultrasound, because they did an ultrasound up there. I'm just saying.
I'm surprised they didn't say bend over.
I'm just saying, if they'd have done an ultrasound on that cranium, you'd have been like the scarecrow. Just saying.
You're trying too hard.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, is today pay? I better hush. Today's payday.
Not for you.
Okay.
After that, no.
So once again, if people want to find out information again, give them one more time, because if you say it 10 times, somebody's going to hear it for the first time the 10th time.
That's correct.
Give them the contact information and all again.
So the Ocala VA Clinic, located in Silver Springs Boulevard, 1515 East Silver Springs
Cascades.
Boulevard. Cascade
For now.
For now.
Oh, do we have time to? How much time we got, Tom?
We got about 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Hit what's happening at the construction site, please.
We are very happy to see construction going quick, and we expect have building completed by July and estimated opening doors by November.
That's the new
clinic.
The Ocala replacement VA clinic.
There you go.
On 200 behind Starbucks.
But if you want, right now it's still at Cascades, and give them the phone number they can reach out to.
352-369-3320.
And folks, we can't say it enough. The paperwork we talked about that you need to do is there so that your wishes can always be adhered to, even if you're not capable of expressing them at the time that it's needed.
And it's free and it's legal and you don't need an attorney.
Yes.
And
yes.
you can get help with social workers at the VA. All of that, they can help you do all of it.
But you got to be enrolled in the system to do it. You can't just walk in and say, no, you got to be in the system. And don't be afraid to go in. They're not going to bite your head off. They're not going to treat you like dirt. And I've been to a lot of VA, and these guys are aces. These guys are aces.
Well, if they don't throw you out, they're pretty good people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's half a check today.
Well, Hank's been paying me to say these things.
Oh, yes.
From Vets Helping Vets, so you know.
Okay.
Thanks so much. We'll see either all of you or some of you next month.
All right.
And we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You've been listening to Veterans Helping Veterans News, Vet News, brought to you by Hires Baxley and Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. We'll be right back after this timeout. WOCA The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages.